welcome to Northeast Current. I'm Mike Toludo, Safety Press Officer for PennDot.
And my name is James May, Regional Press Director for PennDot.
We're here today on this end of summer, beautiful day out here at Lackawanna County Courthouse to talk about fall safety and the upcoming holiday safety.
A lot of times when people think about PennDot, they think about the fact that we're many times out on the roads fixing potholes and doing that type of thing, trying to keep people safe on the roads. Well, safety on the highway, safety getting people from point A to point B, has a whole lot more to do with just fixing bridges and fixing roads. There's a whole lot more to it than what people understand. Part of what we do is working to try to keep people safe on the roads, and that has a whole lot of meanings to it. Everything from encouraging people to wear their seatbelts, making sure that people are not driving while intoxicated, making sure that older passengers are fitted properly for their cars. There's a lot of aspects to what we do in trying to keep people safe on the roads and keep them safe behind the wheel. We're going to talk about that today. We have a lot of guests lined up, so we're really excited, and thank you for joining us. Between August 16th and September 2nd, the Department of Transportation is partnering with a number of organizations across the state in our DUI crackdown. This is our Driving Under the Influence campaign. And essentially what we're trying to do is to help people to understand the importance of driving while not intoxicated. We're going to talk about what exactly that means. But with us here today is Patrolman Nolan. And you are the only DRE, municipal DRE in Lackawanna County. I guess first of all, what is a DRE? What does that even stand for? What is DRE?
A DRE is a drug recognition expert, and that is an officer that's highly trained in recognizing the signs and symptoms associated with persons driving under the influence of alcohol and/or drugs. Okay,
you were telling me before that in Lackawanna County, how many different DRE personnel are there?
Currently, I am the only municipal DRE.
Okay. And you're with Archibald, I think, right?
Borough,
okay, you're with
correct.
the Borough of Archibald.
Yes, there are Pennsylvania state troopers within the county and surrounding counties that are also DREs.
And so what, you say you're a drug recognition expert. What does that mean? What are you doing? What does that really mean?
A drug recognition expert will put a person who is suspected of driving under the influence of alcohol and/or drugs through a systematic 12-step evaluation. And at the end of that evaluation, we make a determination of whether that person is capable of safely operating a motor vehicle.
Now, I know that sometimes if a patrolman pulls somebody over, if they get pulled over by police, they may have them do a breathalyzer right there. Where do you come in? Would you work in addition to something like a breathalyzer, or instead of the breathalyzer, or what is that? What is your role with that?
Well, when an officer out in the field believes somebody is under the influence of something, and they put them through the standardized field sobriety test and then have them blow into a preliminary breath test, and the breath test does not coordinate with the symptoms that they are showing. Let's just say the breath test says that they're only a .02, yet they cannot complete the standardized field sobriety test. That's when they would contact a DRE and then have them put them through an evaluation.
Before you said that you work with alcohol and drugs. Before we came on air, you were telling me that when you use the term drugs, if someone's behind the wheel with drugs in their system, that can be legal or illegal drugs, correct?
Correct. It can be any illegal controlled substance or also prescription medications. Everybody, the drugs affect people differently, and 50% of DUIs are also polydrug users, which means they're under the influence of more than one drug, which can change the effects of each individual drug.
So even if someone is under a medicine that's been prescribed by a doctor, they could still be considered DUI, is that correct?
Correct. When a person is prescribed a medication, they should get the information from their doctor, whether it's safe to operate a motor vehicle, and they should also take the medication and see how their body reacts to it, because the symptoms are different for everybody. Not everybody can operate a vehicle when taking a substance, so they should obviously evaluate how the drug is influencing their body.
Okay. I'm a father of 3 teenagers now, including one who is driving. Are you seeing any trends among young people today, whether are you seeing more alcohol, more drugs? Are there any trends that are taking place?
Well, currently what we see more in our area is more drugs.
Oh, really? Okay.
Especially with the synthetic cannabis that has been out there, the spices and those. We had a big problem with those with the teens around, and also with prescriptions also. Okay.
How does something like cannabis, essentially marijuana, I think they're essentially the same type of thing, right, that we're talking about. How would something like that influence somebody's driving? I mean,
cannabis or marijuana or any synthetic cannabis can impair a person's ability for up to 24 hours, and
okay.
people don't realize that. You can show signs and symptoms for up to that long.
Wow.
And so if people use it and then they operate a vehicle within a couple hours afterwards, they're going to show signs and symptoms and make them incapable of safely driving.
And obviously there are penalties that go along with driving under the influence of drugs, alcohol, and I know that those penalties are pretty steep, and many times I think the penalty is steep, but then once you add in all of the fines and the court costs and everything else, it can be a very steep fine, I assume.
Correct. It can be very costly for a person who's arrested for a DUI.
Yeah.
And the drug aspect of it has higher penalties than, let's say, the lower tier of a alcohol-related DUI.
Okay. And I always say to everybody, whether it's my own kids or somebody else, that having a fine is one thing, and having to go through court and everything else like that, but knowing that you may one day, and I'm sure that you probably see this all too often, where you're living with the consequence of a decision that a young person makes, or anybody makes, living with that consequence for the rest of your life, knowing that you took somebody else's life, that you impacted your life, killed a loved one, killed a family member, or lost your own life. That's something that I'm sure that you guys see all too often in the work that you do.
Correct, and that's our goal, is to make Pennsylvania highways safer and also to save and change people's lives so that they don't have to go through that.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for being here with us. We really appreciate that. We're going to talk to some other folks and look at some other aspects of what PennDot does in keeping people safe on the roads.
We have Kathy Fox here from the Lackawanna County Highway Safety Program, which is funded through PennDot. So Kathy, explain to us what you do.
I am the coordinator, as Mike said, of the Lackawanna County Highway Safety Program. My role is coordinator, and it's our job to educate and make the community aware of the initiatives that we have with drunk driving, aggressive driving, seatbelt safety, and various other safety issues.
Okay, could you explain to us what you have on the plate for the fall?
For the fall, we have DUI naturally for Labor Day. Upcoming after that, we will have Operation Safe Holiday. That addresses DUI, seatbelt safety, and we also have some teen driving initiatives coming up. Some of these initiatives will be statewide and some are national.
Okay, and you go, in the past you have gone to high schools, elementary schools. What do you tell those students?
Correct. We go to high schools, elementary schools, anywhere in the community that they would like us to come and speak on safe driving. And we try and make them aware of the proper way to wear the seatbelt, the importance of driving not distracted. Distraction is deadly these days, so we want to make sure they don't use their phones while driving. We also want to make them aware of everything, including pedestrian safety. Halloween's coming up, so that we'll be addressing. Bicycle safety is another one of our focus areas. We also partner with local and state police. We're a resource and we support them in their initiatives. And we also try to get out there and do media events such as this to make the public aware of what we're doing.
Okay, you also do, in the past we've gone out to senior centers. What do you tell seniors?
We tell seniors the same thing, the importance of wearing their seat belts. We try and tell the seniors that it's important for them to drive safely. Our goal is not to take their driver's license away from them, but it's to make them aware there are some things out there that can make them drive safely and drive longer.
Okay, what do we, how do people get in contact with you if they want to have one of us from PennDot come out and speak to their organization? Okay,
they can reach me at the Lackawanna County Highway Safety Program at 347-BELT or at 347-2358. That's the same thing. Easy way to remember again is 347-BELT. They can contact me to come to any community event or if they would like a presentation in their school or workplace.
And what areas do you cover?
I cover Lackawanna and Pike counties.
With me now is Rebecca Ryback, and Rebecca, you are the safety, tell me your title first of all.
I'm the coordinator of the Northeast Highway Safety Program, and we cover Luzerne, Wayne, Wyoming, and Susquehanna County.
Okay. two terminologies that we use in PennDot all the time. We talk about car fit and car seats. And I know that whenever we do a car fit event, people assume it's for the car seats for their little kids in the back. Explain to me what a car fit event is, because we just had one recently. And what is the car fit?
Right. A car fit is basically how you properly fit your car. It is a program that you could get trained as a car fit technician like I am through AAA, and it's also through the AARP. And we basically have a checklist for it's geared towards the older driver, but anybody could really come through a car fit, and we just see if you know where your hazard lights are, your blinkers, your blind spots. Are you 10 inches from the steering wheel? Can you look 3 inches above the steering wheel? We walk you around your car. Do you have any dents or nicks in your paint? Do you know where they came from? A lot of the older drivers have newer cars. They buy them, their children buy them for them, and they don't know a lot of the bells and whistles that these new cars have. So a car fit is really, we're not interested in taking your license away. That's not our job. We're just really into making sure you're driving safely. And it's just a little checklist. It takes about 20 minutes.
You guys did that recently at the PennDot offices, and that was the first time. We've promoted it before, but that was the first time that I actually saw it. And it was so exciting to see as people would drive away. Many of these folks would say that's the first time they really went through something like that. And it's comforting for people who have maybe older parents or older grandparents, that that when they get behind the wheel, that you can never eliminate all safety concerns, but at least you know that the car is fit for the person and the person is fit for the car. And so that was a really good program. It was fun to watch you guys do that. If somebody has questions on that, how would they, is there a place they can go for more information?
They could always Google CarFit, or it's carfit.org, and they can actually see where CarFit events are taking place. They could call my office 570-829-3489, and we could, I could tell them if there is a CarFit event taking place in the area.
Okay, and they can always call me as well. Email me, jamay@pa.gov, and I will use the forward button and I'll send it over to you, and that way that we can get them in touch with you as well. So that would be good. Now, there's car fit, but there's also car seat checks, and car seats are probably what we think of when we think about car fit, car seat, and those are for children.
Right.
You guys do that as well, correct? And what is that all about?
I'm a certified car seat technician through Pennsylvania Safe Kids organization, and we just make sure that your child is in their car seat properly. We check to see that it's secured, that you know how to install it just in case you have to take it out of your vehicle. Pennsylvania state law says that a child must be in a car seat from 0 to about 4 years old, and then a booster seat from 4 to 8 years old. And we suggest that they stay rear facing till almost 2 years old, and stay in a booster seat until they're over 4'9" and over 100 pounds. Car seats nowadays, they will hold children up to 100, 130 pounds, 140 pounds. So you really want to make sure that they're safe, because we have to remind parents, especially when their kids are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, that a seatbelt in a vehicle is made for an adult.
Right. A
seatbelt was not made for a child. And a booster seat is not a car seat. A lot of kids at that age, they don't want to sit in a baby seat, but a booster seat is actually help the seatbelt fit across your shoulder, your chest, and your hips the correct way.
And I've heard some of the, I don't know if you know the stats, I don't remember the specifics on them, but the number of car seats that are installed improperly is just stunning. And people think that you just take it and you put it in, and I think it's important to remind people to make sure that you get it checked. And again, if people have information on when we're doing one of these events, you can email me, jamay@pa.gov, and we'll at least get you the right information and let folks know how you can get in contact with the people that are doing this. So thank you to you and to Kathy, and for the work that you guys do. I know that you're some of our safety partners, we refer to you as. I don't know, I can never remember your official title, but I know we refer to you as our safety partners. And it's great working with you guys, and what you bring to the table as we at PennDot try to provide an opportunity for people to get from point A to point B in a safe way that encompasses a whole lot of different aspects to it. And one aspect is making sure that people are safe on the roads, and that we can know that we're safe behind the wheel, either for ourselves or for other people or from other people. And so thank you for what you do as well. Next, we're going to talk about school bus safety. This is the time of year where kids are going back to school, so we want to talk to someone about how to keep safe when there's school buses on the road.